What's up, everybody? Todd here with Citizen Defense. Welcome back to the channel. So this week we're going to talk about techniques, and specifically, what do I need to do with my grip to shoot like this? So that was a clip from my last range day running a bill drill. I think that came in, it was like a 218 or a 222, somewhere around there. I was staying consistent in the ones that I ran. But the reason that I thought about doing this is because I posted that same video on TikTok and I had some interesting comments. And one particularly, a gentleman said, and I'm kind of paraphrasing here, that I've never understood how guys can shoot the gun with zero recoil. And that got me thinking that there are still people out there that think a lot of us that are shooting aggressively, we're holding the gun in a way that it's just sitting still like a ray gun, and that's not the case. And so I wanted to touch on what I do, what techniques I use that aid me in getting those type of results. Right, being able to run the gun aggressively with a high level of accountability, which for defensive use is ultimately what I'm looking for. There are a couple key things that we're going to go over that are very, very basic. And then the drill that I think is the best drill to help you achieve this understanding for yourself, right? Because at the end of the day, there are a lot of folks out there that say, grip the gun this way and you'll delete recoil, or your gun will shoot as flat as it's ever shot. And that's snake oil stuff. That's clickbait stuff. None of that crap works. And we just need to focus on the fundamentals of how we need to grip the gun to get the results that we need to. Now, talking about recoil and recoil management, the idea of holding the gun still, right? We don't want to hold the gun still, but what do we want to do, right? We got to shoot for a goal on something to achieve this. And that's going to be looking for a consistent return to a point of aim. So if I have a paster on a target or some sort of reference, which I recommend that you do, is when the gun goes bang, I want it to come back to that same spot at the time. I'm not worried about if it's lifting up. I'm not worried about it's going left, right, whatever. I don't give a shit where the sights lift to. The only thing I'm worried about is where they come back to, okay? Because the sooner that they come back to that precise spot on the target, the sooner I can shoot and the faster I can get rounds on target, right? And we're going to have a higher level of accountability doing that. So that's our ultimate goal. How do we go about doing it? Gripping the gun, the basics of gripping the gun and what I focus on, all right? Clearly, first of all, this is a mag with dummy rounds. There's a dummy round already in here. Everything's safe, okay? So the first thing I want to do is we want to make sure that we're high on the back strap, right? We need to make sure that we're up there. We're not like this. We don't have a loose grip. Any little bit like that, I don't even want that, okay? I want all the meat underneath that beaver tail, okay? The next thing is going to be that we're holding the gun far enough over that we have space in between here. So a lot of people tend to hold the gun like this, kind of like more of like they're making a fist. And as you can see, I reduced a lot of my surface area for contact with my support hand. So even though it looks like it's in, sorry, I'm trying to get better angles, it's in that webbing, this thumb knuckle is still up against that frame. Move that over, just roll it over a little bit. We're well in between that webbing. We're nice in line with our forearm and our wrist, and we've created more space and contact surface for our support hand to get on the grip of the gun, okay? So when we do that, we're going to have better control of the gun. How we grip with this hand makes a difference. Especially new shooters, when they grip it, they want to grip it and try to make a fist with it. Gripping it like you're trying to make a fist. That's not what we want to do. We want to clamp it, kind of like a C-clamp. For those of you maintenance guys out there, we want to clamp it. We want to apply forward to rear pressure. That's how we want to apply our pressure, okay? Now, what do we do with our support hand? I'm going to rant on this a little bit because it bugs me. Ultimately, because it led to me having issues in my progression, and I don't want anybody else to deal with the same BS that I dealt with. I think when it comes to the tactical space, there are people that have gotten the misconception that you need to get high up on the gun with your support hand, that the higher I'm up on the gun, the more I'm going to be able to counter this recoil and keep this gun still. And from my experience and my knowledge of this, is that does jack shit for you. Okay. It's not doing anything. It looks kind of cool and it looks good that you're way high up on the gun and you're forward, but everybody that I know that tries to grip the gun that way, they leave a lot of open space in the back and they end up grabbing the gun at the top here instead of grabbing pressure here. Okay, so let me see. I'm going to try to make sure I'm not over exaggerating that. But like if I was trying to do that with this, my grip pressure is up here and up here, not down here on my hand. Okay, I have minimal pressure on my hand, which makes me have to hold more with my firing hand, which I don't want to do, which is what we're going to get to. Okay, so just laying that hand in that pocket right there, laying your fingers over, and look, you have like no gap. There's one little corner right there where the back of my palms meet up. There may be a little bit of a pocket, but 99% of this grip frame is covered up by the meat of my hands. All right, that's what we're looking for. Now, when it comes to how I get this on here, now this is a niche thing for me. All right, you don't have to do this, but I do it. Sorry if I bumped the mic. So this Walther here, I don't know if you can see, has some, in my opinion, for a stock gun, it's got some decent texturing on it out the gate. I like it a lot. Whenever I'm putting this hand in, whenever I'm drawing from concealment and I'm marrying this grip, I tend to slide, kind of guide this hand in here. And my goal is to take this part of my palm right here and do the best that I can to drive it into the texture of that grip. Okay, I want as much friction with this support hand as I can get with that. So I tend to come in, and as I'm locking my fingers in, I'm rolling that palm, I'm driving it into that grip and trying to lock that support hand in the best that I can to give me the best surface contact with this grip, because ultimately that's what we're looking for, surface contact. So that is something that I do. I don't just lay it in there and grip it. I try to drive it into the texture of the gun. And that's been something that works well for me. Okay, now we get into what, outside of the basics of how to grip the gun, the nitty gritty of where I think the magic happens, right? When we're trying to get a consistent point of return, it's going to come down to the pressures, right? So let's talk about what hand is doing what. Naturally, when people hold a gun with their firing hand, they naturally tend to grip it harder with this one because this is the hand you're holding the gun with, right? So we naturally want to hold it harder, which leads to people relaxing their support hand and not applying enough pressure. Now, one dead giveaway that you're not applying enough pressure with your support hand is going to be the gun sliding around in your support hand like that, okay? If you shoot something and you feel like things aren't quite happening right, I recommend that you record it in slow-mo and pay attention to the trigger guard, okay? If you see your trigger guard moving like that, I'd say it's one of two things. It's either going to be A, your support hand, you're not squeezing hard enough with your support hand. Second could be if it's hot outside or if it's sweaty. For me, sometimes if it gets really hot, I can crush as hard as I want and I can't keep this gun from slipping. So I have to use something third party, like apply some hand chalk or dry my hands off or something like that. That's just something that we're going to have to deal with, but I just want you to know that those elements do come into play. So make sure that it's not that and that you're gripping hard enough with your support hand. Okay, so we want to crush with our support hand. When it comes to how we're going to do this with our firing hand, I've been doing a little contemplating on how to articulate pressures, because the human mind, we've all heard the old bullshit mantra of 40-60 pressures, right? I want to hold it with 40% with this hand and 60% pressure with this one. Our mind doesn't, we don't quantify pressures in percentages, right? Even when we try to do 50 or 100 increments like that, depending on our strength, my 50% may be different than your 50%. So that's not a reliable metric, right? Percentages like that. So we have to narrow it down to the individual, their grip strength, and how it's being applied to provide the best results for them. Okay. Now we're going to go into the drill, which I'm going to show you a clip of here in a second. And that is going to be the one-shot return drill. Now, this one here, I was shooting at 25 yards. You can do this at any distance. It is a good diagnosis. It is a drill good for diagnosing issues in your grip and learning what you need to do with your grip pressures to get a consistent return. And that works up close, that works up at distance, okay? Now, let's talk about the drill real quick. The one-shot return drill is not anything that's been around, or not anything that's new, okay? It's been around for a while. What you're going to do is you're going to take your magazine, load the gun, remove the magazine so you only have one round in the chamber, okay? Now you are going to shoot this drill like you are shooting doubles. So what you're going to do is grip the gun, present to the reference point on the target, press the trigger, the gun's going to go off, bang, and press it again, which is going to be a dry fire click. That's what we're looking for. So we're going to get that bang, click, shooting it just like we're shooting doubles. What should we be paying attention to when we do this? Of course, it's going to be our sights, right? We should be focused on the vision, focused, target focused on the spot on the target, have our vision locked to the reference point on the target. And then on the second click, so bang, click, when you hit that second click, if you're not returning to the same point on the target and you're driving past it, low left, low right, whatever, that's a big indicator that you're driving the gun due to too much firing hand tension. Now, I know my high level, like when I'm applying too much firing hand tension, but for people that have may not experimented with these pressures before, this is how I want you to go about doing it, okay? I want you to set up the drill, set up your gun for the drill, get your grip, okay? I want you to squeeze as hard as you can with your firing hand, all right? Squeeze as hard as you can, run the drill, bang, click. More than likely, you're going to see the gun or the sights drive past the reference point, okay? You're gripping the shit out of gun, you're putting input into the gun, that's probably what's going to happen. But I need you to experience this at 100% before you start going backwards, or not backwards, going down in pressures. Now, experience this at 100%. Bang, click. Now, you've seen it drive down. I want you to start incrementally reducing the pressure on your firing hand while still maintaining full 100% crushing pressure with your support hand, all right? What you're going to see as you relieve pressure from your firing hand is you should start getting closer to a consistent point of return. Now, it may not be right away. You may not notice, depending on where your vision level is, on if you can pick up that type of feedback. But what you're going to see is you grip it 100%, bang, click, reset. All right, below it, reduce a little pressure. Bang, click. All right, still drove below it. Reset, reduce a little pressure. Bang, click. Oh, okay, that returned to the same spot on the target. Let's try it again. Same grip pressure. Bang, click. Right back. Run it again. Prove to yourself consistency. Right back on the target. So what I'm getting at is this, is you're going to slowly reduce the pressure that you're applying with your firing hand till you get the results that you're looking for on a consistent return to a small spot on the target. When you get that result, you need to take a mental note of that, pay attention to that pressure, take a mental note and concrete it, because that's the pressure you need to use when you're shooting the gun. Okay? And then once you figure that out, then you can go into doubles, bill drills, whatever, drills that require you to shoot aggressively, and you're going to be able to shoot aggressively with a higher level of accountability because you have a consistent return to the same spot on the target. All right. Now, this is a little long, talking about technique and stuff like that. I haven't done that yet. So yeah, if you haven't tried this yet, let me know. If you're looking to increase your performance and you're taking this information and going to try it, please tag me in any videos that you have. I want to see any differences that you have, or if my information has helped you have any breakthroughs, right? Get down in the comments. Let me know what you think about this. I want to hear what y'all think, right? I want to know. My goal here is to help people be able to shoot aggressively with a high level of accountability for defensive purposes. Okay. With that, I hope everybody has a wonderful week. Until next time, y'all stay safe.